Welcome to 5 Minutes to Learn. This is your host, Michael Reisinger. Let's go ahead and get into this. This may end up being, and I know I'm putting myself on the hook for it as I say it, but this might be something that I do again as far as episodes are concerned. So the question or the topic that came in from one of KCBC's listeners is how to carve your own path. Again, that's a pretty general way, but if of saying, posing a question, how to carve your path and what, how to carve your path, how to carve your path, why. But in the context of this episode, I'm going to say how to carve your own path as far as, finding your place, finding your sweet spot in the world as far as business and profession goes, as far as your career goes. So I'll say, just maybe address this to two parts of the crowd here. So if you are trying to carve your own path in an organization or in a job, salary position or an hourly position, which I to date have the most experience with in my life, I think, there's a few things that are important. Number one, you have to own everything you do. You have to take what Jocko Willink calls extreme ownership over your day-to-day. That means you're not just focused on doing a great job, but you're focused on growing in your role. You're focused on making sure that you help other people in your team or on your team grow. You are what they call future focused, okay? This is one of the strongest assets you can have as an employee is when some people call it managing up, but when you try to anticipate your leaders or the leadership's expectations and you meet and try to exceed what they expect of you, that's a great way to grow. That's a great way to also carve your own path because as you're doing that and as you're kicking butt in your role, people are noticing that, okay? You also have to make sure that the things that you do in your job, they are lining up with your why. You have alignment with your why. And if I was to look at the work you do and I knew your why, I would be able to say, yes, he or she, their actions are lining up with their why. Okay. Because remember, your why is almost your path, right? You carve your path. If you carve it based on meaningful action that matches your why, that's going to make it a lot easier to do that. Okay. The other thing is if you are an entrepreneur, and obviously, admittedly, this is something I don't have much experience with, but you're listening to this podcast, which is something that I carved out for myself, okay? So I'm already living it, and I'm getting a little bit of that imposter syndrome that's coming in here. But if you're going to carve your own path, you definitely have to understand what's important to you. But if you are starting a business, don't build your business based on what you're good at. You need to build your business based on solving a problem. You need to engineer something that you can solve or engineer a service. You have to focus on solving problems. Okay? And if your path is devoted to solving those problems, then you're going to be really effective at that. So again, carving your own path is a journey. You're going to learn some things along the way. Remember, a path, if we're talking about it being, a triathlon or a marathon, there are going to be twists and turns. You need to make sure, again, that's why your actions need to line up with your why so that when you get those curveballs or you get, potholes in the road, you can recover from them quickly and you can have that resilience required to get there. So again, thanks for listening to 5 Minutes to Learn here. And if you have any other ideas for topics, please feel free to send those in. Thank you.